Hello! Welcome to my first episode of my Godzilla series. I'm going to be running for quite a while because I am going to do a full walkthrough of every Godzilla movie in release date order and talk about each one, deep dive the entire franchise. I own almost all of them, so I only have to buy a couple that I've been wanting to buy anyway, so I'm going to pick those up. When I get to those years and those movies, I will talk about them. But for today, this episode is going to just cover the 1954 classic Godzilla, or Gojira, whichever you want to call it. And I own it in the Criterion Collection book here, which I'm not going to show off in its entirety, because every episode I'm going to be covering, this is the first 15 movies here. So every episode I'm going to be showing you a new page and going through the whole book anyway. So I will, you'll get to see this entire set. If you don't own this Godzilla book, this is an absolute must. Freaking everything you need to know. It covers every single Godzilla movie ever made. And it gives you good essays on each one and lots of good pictures from each movie. This is an amazing asset to Godzilla. And for my little creatures, I'm hoping to add some more Godzilla stuff as I go through these episodes. I'm going to be covering 35 movies in this series. Every single live-action Godzilla movie. There's also 3 animated films that I'm not going to be covering. And it's not that I don't like them or nothing, it's because I can't buy them. And I only cover things on my channel that's physical media. There's no way to buy those 3 movies. They're streaming only, so I'm not going to cover it. But there's also a Godzilla animated series. I'm not going to cover that either. I'm just going to cover 35 films in this franchise. Technically more, because in today's episode, I'm actually covering both Godzilla, the original, and I'm also going to be covering the 1950, what year did that one come out? 1956 American, it's not a remake, it's just an American version called Godzilla King of the Monsters, which came out a couple years later after this movie. And I watched them both, and they're both included in this set. So I will go through the beginning of this book until we get to the actual first movie. So here's your table of contents, which is awesome. You got great essay written here on this entire collection, telling you what you're getting. Look at that. That's a lot of good reading here. And then we get to our first film, Godzilla from 1954. The masterpiece that started it all. And crazy. Directed by Ishiro Honda. 96 minutes. This is in Japanese with English subtitles. Yeah, and like I said, in the special features, it comes with the American edition, which is pretty wild. Don't think that will stay, but I'll try. Maybe if I push this guy into the book here, that'll stay. And then I take this guy over here and I put him here. Maybe that'll stay like that. There we go. So yeah. For my collectibles here too, these two here, this one and this one are from the new Godzilla Cross Kong. They're 2 of the bosses, the bad guys. And then we got the original Godzilla here. We got Shin Godzilla here. And that's the new Godzilla from the American movies. The new American movies. So I'm missing a few that I will end up picking up, and I'll probably add them in future episodes. But yeah, today I'm just going to cover this movie, and where do I start? Like, I took a few notes here. I wrote down a few things just so I didn't want to screw up and not forget to mention things like I always do. Like, I started out with some likes and dislikes, and obviously there's a lot of likes for this one, like just from the opening credits alone, and that score kicks in, which, to be honest, it's like almost Jaws level of legendary. Like, as soon as you hear it, you're sucked in, and that it gets me. Like, an awesome opening credits and opening score usually sets me up for, like, whether or not I'm invested immediately. I just love that shit. And over the while the credits are rolling at the beginning, you can hear the roars constantly in the background of Godzilla. It's just really good opening credits that fuel you up. But yeah, it starts out, and it's a bit slow in the beginning. Like, it's a storytelling. Like, it's basically just building up some story, and it shows a fishing boat get incinerated, basically. And should I go into the true story there? Like, that's based on an actual event that took place, where the what was the name of that boat? The dragon. The dragon something. Did I write that down? The name of the boat? Can't remember the darn name of the boat. Yeah, I didn't even write it down. But it's called the dragon something boat. I can't remember exactly, but it was a real fishing boat that the Americans were doing H-bomb tests near Japan, and this boat was too close, and it ends up being like a horrific true story where all the boatmates slowly died of radiation poisoning when they got back home, and it was just it's a horrendous story. And that's kind of the inspiration of the movie. Anybody that's seen Godzilla knows everything. I don't need to go super deep on this one. It's all the upcoming sequels that I think are lesser seen. So it'll be fun to go through those ones deeper. But yeah, everybody knows the original Godzilla story. It's basically just a warning. It's just a horrendous warning in a movie of just tragedy and the horrendous effects of nuclear bombs and stuff. Like, that's what it is. But yeah, after that ship goes down, they send out a second one that ends up going missing and getting destroyed. And then you get a whole bunch of storyline building up, like they're trying to figure out what's going on. And there's been sightings of this big creature, and you just hear people talking about it. And then, like, probably 25 minutes in, you get your first sighting of Godzilla. And it's a pretty awesome sighting where he's coming up over the mountains and his head is peeking up, and it's pretty freaking awesome. Like, as soon as I see it, I'm instantly hyped, sucked up for that. But then after that, it's a pretty quick scene, and then you get it rolls into more storytelling. Like, it's jumping back and forth between government planning, the scientist Serizawa, is that his name? I didn't write names down, crying out loud. Yeah, Serizawa. He's a doctor, and then there's a little bit of a love story going on with a girl and him and another guy, and they just build up some good storyline, and uh, and then you get your second appearance of Godzilla, jumps into that, and this time he's basically wreaking havoc on the shoreline, and hasn't fully like done anything crazy yet. It's just like glimpses of them and slow build up, which I absolutely love. And then it cuts back and we get some long scenes where Dr. Serizawa is explaining this new device he's created called the Oxygen Destroyer, and that he thinks will be able to kill Godzilla, and he shows it to his girlfriend, and he tests it in the fish tank, and it like disintegrates the fish into bones, like they're just floating bones. But then it's all just, this is where the seriousness comes in, where it's just the warning, where it's like, do I want to use this to take down Godzilla, because now it's going to be the new nuclear bomb and it's going to be used as a weapon, and I don't want to do it. Well, she runs to her other boyfriend, you can say, and tells him about it, the government official, and he comes to get the weapon, and they're going to use it to try and take down Godzilla. And that all leads into the third appearance by Godzilla in the movie. And that's where it gets, like, really freaking good. That's the one where he comes out of the water and he walks up, and then you get all the freaking awesome miniatures, where you got your miniature tanks and the miniature helicopter. One scene is really fucking funny. But he's just wreaking havoc. This is where he's tearing down buildings. He's biting on everything he sees. He's tail whipping shit. He's using his flame breath and just annihilating the military. This is like a good, long, drawn-out destruction scene of just the devastation that he leaves in his path. And that's kind of what it leads to, is just showing you the aftermath of how much devastation he leaves in his path. But the miniatures, man. The miniatures is like, I don't know. There's something about miniatures. I just love the usage of miniatures in these classic 50s monster movies. It's so cool looking. It's pretty wild. And then the look of Godzilla, too, in this is really cool. It's unique. He's creepy looking. He's got, like, the eyes. Well, it's right here. This is his face from the original one. I'd love to get some more t-shirts, but, man, they're hard to get. Like, lucked out with this one. But this is, like, the only Godzilla t-shirt I have, so I'll probably be wearing this one in every episode. Unless I can manage to find some new ones. But yeah, like, what's there not to like? Those are all my likes. Like that, it's simplistic. Like that, this is what I just said is basically a sum up. Like, obviously there's more to it than that, but that's the gist of it. And as far as like dislikes, the only thing I could possibly say is that there's a couple spots where the storyline's a little bit too heavy. Like, you could call it slow paced, but it's fine. Like, the pacing is actually good in this original movie. For me, at least. Some people might find it slow. But that would be, like, its one downfall, is that I wish they added maybe one more scene of Godzilla and taken out, like, a couple minutes of the storyline stuff. And it would have been fine. But yeah, anybody that... I am going to be spoiling these. Like, I know I don't spoil a lot on my channel, but for this, I'm going to spoil. If you haven't seen the movies, sorry, but I need to talk a little bit about the endings and stuff. Like, so this one ends with Dr. Serizawa using his oxygen destroyer himself. He takes it down and he kills himself to use it and detonate it and destroy it as well. in the process so that nobody else can use it in the future. And it does take down Godzilla. Or does it? As you know, I'm about to cover 35 movies. So, it doesn't really. Yeah. Like, that's the gist of it. Like I said, I don't need to go too insanely deep on this first movie. Most people have seen the original Godzilla. It's like I said, it's as you get further into these sequels that get like comical and just superhero-y and really like just fun. Like there's nothing fun about this movie. This one is just, it's like sadness and brutal. But a must see. And surprising enough, my final score for the first movie is only a 4 out of 5. To me, it's so damn good. Like maybe a 4.5. Maybe I'm being a little harsh on the 4. It's probably a 4.5 out of 5. I'll go with. And it's just because of the lack of appearance of Godzilla. He's not in it enough, but I get it. It's not. The movie isn't supposed to 100% be about Godzilla, this original one. It's more about the political messaging and the storyline and everything. So, showing them a little bit is fine. Plus, the amount of work that goes into showing them as well, it's pretty brutal. But, like, as far as the special features go on this first one, it comes with quite a bit on the first disc. And it has, like, has a really good illustrated video essay where a guy's talking about the real life boat incident that I was telling you about, and just the inspiration of the movie and the making of it and everything. And it's like a whole video essay, and it's really good special feature. That one was solid. That's the one I'll highlight. And then, like I said, it comes with the American version, which, to be honest, I gave a 1.5 to the Americanization of it, because it just sucks the life out of it. Like, it's just an American actor. He's a journalist, and he shows up, and it's just him narrating over clips of the movie, but then he's in the movie, and it's like just his point of view, but they leave out all of the like heart, I don't know, like the soul of the movie's kind of gone. It's just like, ooh, look at these cool monsters. So I'm not a huge fan of it. I much prefer this original Japanese version over the American one. I gave it a 1.5 just because it was just, I don't know. I watched them back to back as well. I've seen the original Godzilla a few times, so I watched that one, and then I immediately went into special features and seen that version was available. I was like, oh, okay, I'll watch that too. So I clicked on that and watched it back to back in one night. So maybe I'm being a little bit harsh with a 1.5 on it, but maybe I was just a little burnt out of just watching clips from the movie I just watched. But yeah, that's all I wrote down. I didn't write anything else down for this movie. I just wanted to keep it simple and do a complete guide. So this first one, I'll go with a 4.5 out of 5. And say that it's an absolute masterpiece. It ushered in like an insane amount of kaiju movies to come, giant monster films, and thank God it exists. You could argue that it's like the most iconic movie monster of all time, I would say, easily. Him and King Kong, but Godzilla's, I think, maybe bigger than Kong. And I also believe that it's the longest running movie franchise of all time. 1954, and it's still going today. The newest one came out in 2024. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that would be the longest running film franchise in history. Nothing else would touch that. So that's pretty cool. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure nothing I can personally think of has gone as long or longer than that as a franchise. Like James Bond's close, The first one of that came out in 62. But this is 8 years before that. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure. And then James Bond also doesn't have as many movies. They're only at 25, where this is at like 38. So, yeah. I'm going to just keep pounding these movies out. I'm so excited to throw the next one. And the next one's called Godzilla Raids Again. And I think there's an American version of that one too. Gigantus the Fire Monster or something like that. I'm going to watch both of those, so I'll be talking about both of those ones in my next episode. And I hope you join me for the next one. I hope you enjoy this content. I know it's not for everyone. But yeah, this book here, I'll show this off a little bit. It's got tons of awesome pictures for each movie. But you also got like write-ups. This one's on Godzilla, King of the Monsters from 1956, the American one. But it walks through every single movie in this book. Every single one. It's pretty awesome. Must own. Nice cover too. Godzilla's actually coming off the page. You can actually feel his outline and everything and his name. So yeah, thank you so much for checking out this episode, and I hope you follow me for this freaking long journey I'm about to go on of watching. Just this book alone is 15 films, 1954 to 1975. So I'll also show you the back in case nobody's ever seen how the layout is here. I'm missing the disc too. It's already in my player getting ready. But yeah, all the discs are nicely laid out. So yeah, cool stuff there. Alright, thank you for joining me, and I will see you for Godzilla Raids again.